Good morning, those of you who are here in person and online. Welcome to Sunday morning meditation. I invite you to find your seat with your back upright but not uptight. Hands relaxed, feet firmly grounded. And either you can access your breath as a portal to the presence, or the sounds around you, or a mantra. But I invite you at this moment to settle in and to know that the thoughts will come. That's what they do. But your task, your assignment right now is to just not latch on to them. When they come, just let them go. Let them move on by like clouds in a sky. Dear wise friends, you have learned that perhaps the greatest gift you can give yourself is that of sitting in the silence. The greatest gift to yourself and to others. Thank you for sharing your practice.
Check, 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 check. It's probably.
Jeremy Lieber and Michelle Gertz, everybody. Can we give them some love, please? Woo. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy Pride. So here at Unity in Marin, we celebrate Pride. It's been going on all month long, as June is Pride Month, and we are celebrating it this Sunday. And there's a lot that we're going to be stepping through today. So is everyone up for a journey, an entire journey that we're going to walk through? For those who don't know who I am, I'm Reverend Deanne Morency. I am the senior minister here at Unity in Marin. This was given to me by a congregant. Isn't it fabulous? I love it. Yeah. This is a fabulous day, and it's also a bittersweet day. And that's what we're going to be invited into, is to being able to hold both of those things simultaneously. The power and the joy of gay pride, and the bittersweetness of where it even had to come from and how it has actually manifested itself in time and in space. So if you're new to Unity, I see there's a couple of new faces. Welcome, welcome. We are a community that is grounded in love. We're also grounded in fun, as you can tell by my ensemble today. And ultimately, we believe that we're here to show up for each other, that we're here to be present with each other, to be and see and know the truth of who we each are, which is that we are these magnificent, magnificent light beings. And sometimes when we show up in time and in space, we're not so sure of our light. But we come together in sacred community to be able to anchor that, to be able to shore that up, and to also be able to be in service to others so that we are shoring each other up. And can you feel how that energetic lifts everyone and everything? So we have an opening Oh, I do have a little bit of news, which did go out in the blast. So Ann Armour made her transition on June 17th. She did make it to her 94th birthday. She did. So there will be a celebration of life. The details are being worked out as we speak. So hopefully by next week, there will be more information about when exactly that's going to be here in the sanctuary. It'll be after a Sunday service. So I know for me today, it took a lot for me to get here. Did it take anybody else a lot for them to actually be here? And if you were watching on live stream, we love you and we say welcome, and I'm very jealous right now. So I'm going to invite Carolyn Gauthier to come up. She's going to lead us in our opening song, and the invitation for this song is to use it as an opportunity. Are you okay? So that it's an opportunity to ground ourselves and to center ourselves and to let go of whatever the energy might have been earlier and to be here fully as you can be, obviously, right here and right now. Carolyn?
Please join me. This is for all of us to breathe together and sing together and go into a quiet place inside ourselves. I am open, I let go now, living in the light of love. I am open, I let go now, living in the light of love. God is, I am, living in the light of God. God is, I am, living in the light of love. I am open, I let go now, living in the wholeness of love. I am open, I let go now, living in the wholeness of love. God is, I am, living in the wholeness of love. God is, I am, living in the wholeness of God. I am open, I let go now, living in the peace of love. I am open, I let go now, living in the peace of love. God is, I am, living in the peace of love. God is, I am, living in the peace of love.
So normally we would be going into our prayer space right now, but I would like everyone to direct their attention to this beautiful panel that we are blessed to have in the sanctuary with us today. So this is part of the AIDS Memorial Quilt. The quilt itself weighs 54 tons. We have one panel. There's 110 panels, I believe. 110,000 panels, I believe. That's what I meant. And in each panel, which is approximately 12 by 12, there are 8. In this one, we have 7 because we have someone who's represented twice on this panel. 3x6 panels, which are where someone who has died from AIDS has been memorialized. So I have a video that I'd like to show you from Cleve, who is the founder of this incredible project, which is the largest community art project in the world. To give you a sense of its history, to give you a sense of what it's about, and then Cindy and I are going to share some things. Cindy's going to share more than I'm going to share. I get to do that in the talk, so. So can we play the video, please?
I talked about this idea for a whole year, and everybody told me it was the stupidest thing they'd ever heard of. But I ignored them and kept going and found people who shared the vision, and it ended up becoming, I believe, the world's largest community arts project ever.
A quilt commemorating 40,000 people who've died from AIDS has gone on display in Washington.
Quilts traditionally were made from cast-offs, taking scraps of fabric that are of different colors and different textures and sewing them into something that is warm and comforting. I thought it would be good therapy for people who were deep in grief. I thought of it also as a tool to help the media understand that behind all of those horrendous statistics were actual human beings that were part of families and communities and neighborhoods. But I was never really prepared for the sheer beauty of it. In the early 1970s, I was one of many thousands of young gay and lesbian kids who got here any way we could. Of course, at that time, it was still a felony to be gay in this country. It was still a felony in California. So we lived under a great deal of repression and fear.
I think, this idea that gays are going to take over city government, I think it's amusing when I hear that.
There were a few blocks within the city where we could be completely free and be ourselves, and that meant you could hold hands with your partner, you could kiss. To come here and to find this vibrant, welcoming community was incredibly exciting.
In 1981, American doctors were baffled by a bizarre disease. Within 6 years, AIDS has spread to 71 countries and infected up to 10 million people.
We're filming this interview at a restaurant called Catch at the corner of Castro and Market Street. I was living just a couple of blocks here when I read those first stories about this new disease. That was the summer of 1982. By the fall of 1985, almost everyone I knew was dead or dying. We very quickly came to understand the signs. People who just a few weeks or months before had been athletic and healthy were suddenly getting these purple lesions. People began to get skinny. We saw people die all around us. On one block in my neighborhood, everybody died in the span of 2 years. Ultimately, over 20,000 gay men would die in this neighborhood. I actually acquired the virus in the winter of 1978, 1979. I did not begin to show signs of that infection until 1992. I got very, very sick very, very quickly and came close to dying in 1994 before I got access to one of the very first clinical trials. I admit there are days when I still feel just overwhelmed by grief. I miss my friends. I miss them a lot. I barely passed high school biology, but I understood clearly that there was no such thing as a gay virus, and that what we were experiencing here was going to be experienced by all sorts of different kinds of people all around the planet. I remember one day exclaiming in rage to my friend, if this was a meadow with 1,000 corpses rotting in the sun, then people would look at this, they would see it. So each panel is 3 feet by 6 feet, the approximate size of a grave. And that was deliberate. I wanted to show how much land would be covered if all of these bodies were lined up head to toe. By October 11th of 1987, we had collected 1,920 individual panels, and they were placed on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., and ended up on the front page of just about every newspaper in the world. Once people could see what I was talking about, then they kind of got the power of it. This quilt is a pretty extraordinary testament to what we went through, and it's a place that's known for its monuments. They're made out of stone and steel, and we took a monument there that was made of cloth and thread and sewn by ordinary Americans and people from all over this planet who loved someone who died of AIDS and wanted them to be remembered. It was that simple and that amazing.
It gets you, right? So I'm correcting my numbers. It's 50,000 panels, this size panels, that represent 105,000 people that are part of the AIDS Memorial quilt. I just want to, 20,000 died in the Castro alone. Over 40 million people have died from AIDS. Yeah, wow. And in the beginning, this was a community that was very isolated and very alone. Try to imagine what was happening with COVID, but there was no support. In fact, there's recordings of the White House laughing at the gay disease. All right. I'm going to invite Cindy up. She was here in the Bay Area. I was in New York City, and different experiences. I'm a little bit younger too, and so that changes where we sort of intersected with this experience. Hi.
So I was in the worship and praise choir of Metropolitan Community Church in San Francisco during the 80s and 90s. And it's a little difficult to describe, but the sanctuary was smaller than this. It was 2-story. And during those years, it was packed with about 300 people, so much so that there was a corridor outside the building, and there were windows, and people would climb through the windows just to be a part of the service. But what was stunning and saddening is that there were many people who would carry people in. And so there were a lot of people at that point. There were chairs in the aisles. It went way past fire code because they were trying to accommodate everybody who wanted to come. And at that time, I had 3 very young children, and I wanted to sing in the choir. And so there was such a feeling of needing to care for people there that existed in the Castro. And so my children just hung out in the Castro. They just went from place to place, house to house, store to store. And all of the people in the neighborhood cared for them because they knew that I was inside doing choir practice, and then my children would come and set up the kitchen to feed people. Little by little, the choir diminished. It was a choir of only 3 women, and all of the rest were about 20-something men. But one by one, they were all dying. And the minister there, then at the time, Jim Metulsky, reached a point where there were memorial services almost daily. So when my phone would ring, I knew that it was a call asking if I could sing. And when I first came to MCC San Francisco, I was pretty shy, but I learned how to get over that because what was important was that people needed to be able to grieve, they needed to be able to say goodbye, and so every time the phone would ring, I would just say yes. And Jean, who was the other soprano, and I, at one point, we were the only 2 women who were there, and we were the ones who were singing for mostly all of the memorial services. Sometimes the service would be outdoors because of people and their fears, and because Jim really wanted people in the media to be able to see what was happening and how people were caring for each other. And so there was almost a gender differentiation, because most of the men were dying and the women were doing the caretaking. They were either helping people grieve, they were singing at the services, they were caring for individuals, a lot of people who were nurses, a lot of people who became nurse-like because they were taking care of people. And the thing that I take away so much from that time period was that the message that continued to happen during the service by Reverend Matulski is, you are worthy. Do not listen to what you are hearing about this being a gay disease. It is not because you are gay. You are not dying because you are gay. And he used to say that over and over and over and over, because people were dying without their relatives because their relatives were no longer supporting them because they were gay. And so other people stepped in. We became family to everybody, uncles and aunts and mothers and sisters, because it was needed to be able to get people through.
Thank you, Cindy. So we're gonna, the choir is gonna, oh, we're missing the slide. We're gonna call out the names of the 7 people. Do you have the names, Cindy? Okay. And so the choir members who are participating in this, if you could please rise. I had a slide with their names, but, and I'm just gonna invite us all. We're gonna step into the prayer field in just a moment. Actually, let's do this too. Ellie, can you please come forward with the prayer box? Can I have the prayer chaplains rise? And please encircle the community. And I would also invite anyone who feels called to anchor what's happening right here. If you feel called to stand and to anchor this, and if you're watching at home, I invite you into this sacred space as well. So we're going to speak these names into the space, and then we're going to step into our prayer field. So if the sound could turn on all of the handhelds so we're not stopping, just turn them all on. Thank you.
Harold Lee Ventrease, 41 years old.
Byron Terrell Floyd. Johnny Benton Johnson, 53 years old.
David Eckert.
Robert Wesley Green, age 45.
David Rose, 32 years old. Chuck Jungi, 38 years old.
So let's breathe into these names, and let's breathe into all the names that are on that quilt, all the names that are in our hearts. 40 million plus names. And we're just centering ourselves in this space, in this place right here, right now. That is just a container of love, a container of light. Just breathing into this space where we can hold with compassion, where we can meet others where they are, with love, with connection, where we can meet ourselves with whatever might be arising within us in this moment, with love and compassion. And I invite you, as you open your heart into this tender, tender space, that we embrace everyone. Just knowing that the challenges and the pain and the loss and the grief that has been experienced by anyone touched by AIDS, that is also ours. And if we say yes, we get to lighten the burden. We get to carry something that perhaps we have stamina to carry that someone else might just be so tired that they don't feel like they can do it anymore. So we just allow ourselves to be a support system for ourselves, for the planet, for the world, for this community. And we just see that sense of open-hearted inclusivity and belonging. That way to make connections that transcend what we think it is that they're supposed to be. That we can be heart to heart, hand to hand, in this journey that is life, that I know for each one of these individuals that we are holding in prayer right now did not end. It has transformed into another state of beingness. And so we bless all who feel lost as they are, quote unquote, left behind. And we bless those who are free from the burdens of this physical incarnation. And we bless ourselves as we stand as that anchor of love. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Thank you, everyone. You may be seated. The quilt will be up between service and the workshop today, so you can absolutely go and take a look at it. It's truly a beautiful, beautiful work of art. And this place that we're in, can you feel how actually rich it is to have your heart kind of cracked open? And it is from this place that we also get to experience hope. It's from this place that we also get to experience joy. It's from this place that we also get to step into life more fully and more powerfully. Knowing that I am worthy, you are worthy, that we are all worthy. And if at any point during this service you find yourself in need of a prayer chaplain, just please tap Brandy. Brandy, can you stand up so people know where you are? Just go talk to Brandy. Brandy will find a prayer chaplain to meet with you out in the lobby and provide the container that you might perhaps need, okay? So can we hold each other right now in this space? And again, I had my prayer chaplain share something with me, which I'm going to share in my talk, but making space for the 10,000 sorrows and the 10,000 joys. And that's the journey I'm going to invite us into today. So we're going to move into some of that 10,000 joy with the inspirational reading from Clay. Back of his outfit. You have to show everyone. It says Unity in Marin.
It is now time for our inspirational reading, a time to let these words become part of your morning reflection, your morning meditation, or prayer. I invite you in this moment to take a deep breath and to pause, to close your eyes if you wish. And I invite you to let these words become your words. The affirmation for today is, I am worthy and proud. Knowing my oneness with God means knowing my worth, and I matter. I will no longer play it small or shrink in fear, for this is a new moment, and I courageously embrace all that I am as a unique, divine creation, deserving the best life has to offer. And I am ready to be seen for who I am. And I am proud to speak my truth and be my authentic self. And I do not need anyone's approval to be content and at peace. I let my light shine in a kaleidoscope of brilliant colors. I am a divine human, overflowing with spiritual gifts of life, love, joy, peace, and abundance. I affirm my worth and commit to being a voice for those who have yet to know theirs. And I honor the divine light in everyone. Once again, the affirmation for today is, I am worthy and proud. Please know this with me. I am worthy and proud. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, Unity. Welcome, and especially to you folks online. Well, when I got here this morning, I'm thinking, boy, I'm looking really cute. And then I walked in and I see Clay. It's like, what? Okay, stop comparing. Love you, Clay. Congratulations to Reverends Deanne and Linda.
So Linda is here today. Where are you, Linda? Oh, there she is. Can you stand up just so everybody can see you? So Linda is with us today. She has been working with the board, doing a board training all weekend. She is leading a workshop that is free and open to the entire community today at 12 o'clock. What is your superpower? Should be fun. And all of her books are available for sale out in the courtyard, and she can sign them for you and all that good stuff. So welcome, Linda. We're so glad you're here with us.
I just want to say on a personal level that I had mixed thoughts about doing the workshop. When I came into Reverend Deanne's office and I met Reverend Linda, I was just in awe of you, of your presence, of your love. So thank you for being a light. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are all part of the welcome team. Look for the buttons of our welcome team and join us. Please join us in the courtyard. There is potluck hospitality every single Sunday. So welcome. We love you and we appreciate you. Discussion circle. You can connect and reflect on today's service. It's every Sunday in the courtyard right after the service. You can connect with text, with welcome, and please follow us on TikTok and Instagram. And Reverend Deanne said that we have been getting some followers on Instagram and TikTok, but we need more likes on TikTok. So help us out with that. Spiritual connection card in your bulletin, just rip it off. And if you need any prayer support in your life, if anything is bothering you, you will be held in prayer for 60 days. And Reverend Deanne does see each and every one of these spiritual connection cards. And you can put it right in the basket as it comes around with your donation. What is our vision Please join me. A world spiritually awakened and transformed through realizing our divine potential, our mission. Unity in Marin is a loving community dedicated to spiritual growth, inclusivity, and service. We honor and care for ourselves, each other, and the natural world. And our core values: connectivity, inclusivity, authenticity. Let's talk about inclusivity. Cultivating a safe space to celebrate diversity and value the uniqueness of every person. We widen our lens to understand and honor the lived experience of others. We are enriched and become more as we consciously question our assumptions. We cultivate a space of belonging for all before they come in the door. And I'd just like to say on a personal level also that when the AIDS epidemic was happening, I was living in San Francisco and I was in the beauty industry. So I worked in hair salons. So I had a front row seat to what was going on with our beloved brothers. I just wanted to mention that. I was deeply touched. Upcoming events. Please take a picture with your phone and you can pick and choose what you would love to come and attend. So save those dates in advance. Today's flowers sponsor, Brandy Jones. I spent most of my life not belonging. And at age 38, I found my community, and I am grateful. Being a lesbian is my way to live in my life. Thank you for living my best life every day. Now I am living with all parts of who I am. Thank you, Brandy. Today's flower sponsors, Ellen Meredith and Judith Evans. Proud lesbians, proud to belong to Unity. Woo! Wow. Today's hospitality sponsor, Cindy Hall. Welcome to Unity in Marin, where everyone has a place at our table. Flowers arranged by Miss Elizabeth Drew. The one, the only Elizabeth Drew. Thank you, Elizabeth. And if anyone would like to sign up, I know we're all dying to do this, or living to do this, shall I say. You can visit the one, the only Charcel in the courtyard to sign up.
So every week we highlight those who stand in sacred service here at Unity in Marin. We say thank you. We show appreciation and gratitude. And today we're honoring two very special people. They are Dr. Cindy Acker and they are Charcel Hooper. And the choir and other members of the community have gotten together and they have purchased a paver for Charcel, and we have purchased a paver for you, Cindy, as well. It's a very, very small way for us to say thank you, and the choir wanted both of you to be able to pick what you would like on the paver. Charcel said, oh, cool. Cindy, is there anything else? No. I covered it. Okay, great. Okay. And on that note, I'm inviting the choir on up here.
don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, nobody'll love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be free. I ain't no apology. This is me.
Another round of judgments hit my skin. Well, fire away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in. We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. We are glorious, and that's what we've become.
And that's what we've become. Break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us. For we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I'm free, I am free, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. This is me. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out.
This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me.
Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
So can you feel the evolution? Can you feel the evolution that the queer community lives, right? Lives, because it's still happening right now. I want to be really clear that that kind of oppression that we can now recognize as we look backwards is showing up in different ways, but it's still here. So Cindy last week talked about belonging, and it just kept resonating through me, this idea of belonging, just how important belonging is. And this quote is from Tara Brach, and she says, all humans desire a place of belonging in which we feel at home. A sacred space of true belonging allows us to thrive. We feel seen, understood, and valued. We are free, safe, held in love, and free to love others from our true self and deepest authenticity. In this place of true belonging, we have some protection from the darkness found in our world. Now, you may or may not identify yourself as part of the queer community, but can you feel how important this is to you as well? Because there's only one, everybody. There's only one thing. And we are continually called to show up in that more fully and more powerfully and more beautifully and more lovingly. And whatever our human experience is not meant to be a division. It's meant to be part of this magnificent kaleidoscope of fabrics and colors that come together to create something else. Can you see how magnificent that quilt is? It is greater than just one piece or one part of one piece. And this is what we're all being invited into, as a deep sense of belonging. And so last year I shared this, there's 7.2% of US adults identify as LGBTQ+, and you'll see the younger generation is, right, light years ahead of us. This year, it's 7.9. And I want everyone to just realize, too, that those numbers, we lost an entire generation. We lost an entire generation. So what would those numbers be if that generation was still with us? So in 1987, I was privileged to be here at Washington, D.C., when the AIDS Memorial Quilt was laid out for the first time. And this was not a gay pride parade. We've grown into that. This was a march. This was a demonstration saying enough, enough, and a cry to be seen, a cry for that sense of belonging, a cry for what it was that our community was experiencing to be something that was valued. And I'll never forget this, because it was a march, right? And so we have grown into this idea that I am worthy and proud. That's something we have grown into. As Cindy shared, we needed to be affirmed of that. We're grown into the idea that we can claim that. Now, is everybody in here feeling worthy right now? Some of us might be. Anybody in here not feeling worthy? This is something that is human. It's part of the human condition. So I want us all to say the affirmation together. Let's say it. I am worthy and proud. We can learn something from the queer community. And yet this is what we experience. When I walked in that march in 1987, there was a whole section of the march where the other perspective of whatever is being demonstrated gets a place. And this is what we were met with as we walked. Right? This, and with megaphones, screaming these things at us. The one that always gets me is, God is your enemy. God hates you. I mean, really intense. And they're very, very, they really believe what they believe, right? They really believe what they believe. And I was lucky enough at that moment to be marching with the San Francisco Gay Men's Choir. And so they launched into a rendition of Amazing Grace. And it really was, they created this cocoon where when I play it back, I shared this at other gay pride, but when I play it back, I see these people, you know how people like in films, they yell in slow motion. That's what they were doing, this distorted sound that the sound of the choir sort of filtered away, and we walked in this cocoon of peace and possibility. Let's say it together. I am worthy and proud, even in the face of whatever it is that you are up against right now. Whatever that obstacle is that you think is standing in your way, whether it's someone who is trumpeting to the heavens that God hates you, or whether it's a relative who says, I'm not so sure you can do that. I am worthy and proud. So you can see what's happening. I talk about how it hasn't gone away. So in 2018, we had 18 pieces of legislation. One was enacted. 5 years later, this is from June of 2023, we were up to 385 pieces of anti-LGBTQ legislation. So the ACLU 2023 closed with 510 anti-LGBTQ bills across the country. Right now, we're not even at the end of the year yet, and we are at 527. So I want to just look at this too, because in 2023, so there were 510 bills, 214 were defeated. Phew, right? 150 advanced to the next space. 84 were enacted, with 20 more being taken to court. So really, 104 were enacted. 20 of them are up for, is this actually constitutional? In 2024, though, we have more bills, but look how many more were defeated. 340. How many are advancing? 110. How many were enacted? Now, granted, we're only halfway through the year, but 41. So we could look at this and we could say, oh, look, the tide is turning. Can I burst your bubble a little bit? The reason why they think the tide is turning is because lawmakers aren't targeting some of these LGBTQ rights anymore because they've already eviscerated them. There is nothing more to legislate. Now, as Cindy has shared over and over and over again to us, when oppression becomes codified in our legal system, it is impactful for generations. Not just right now. Once things are put into our legal system, it is so hard to undo them. Cleve in the video shared that it was a felony to be gay. It took forever to get that off of the books. Say this with me. I am worthy and proud. We can anchor ourselves in something even in the face of all of this. And it comes for me. This is that Taoist saying, when you open your heart, you get life's 10,000 sorrows and 10,000 joys. And that's what I want to invite us into. I know it can be hard sometimes to open our heart into the sorrows of others. We have enough of our own, maybe, but we're not separate from anyone. And we actually have the capacity to hold 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows, even if we don't feel like we do. We actually can hold all of that because of the truth of who we are, the divinity that we actually are. Even in sharing the deepest sorrow, we can find the joy of being seen and finding a place where we belong with one another. Even in the sorrow. Cindy is sharing how that, even in the sorrow of all of that death, the community was standing together. There was a sea change that happened because of the AIDS epidemic in terms of the women and the men and divisions and separateness, and all of a sudden, we become a more whole queer community. Because there's the recognition that we need to be there for each other, that we need to show up for each other, even in the sorrow, even when something like this is just breaking our heart open again and again and again. So I hear from people often like, oh, why it's so long and complicated, LGBTQ plus, what? But it's so important because can you feel how it's about belonging? It's about making sure that we are constantly creating a larger container. That we're not just saying it's the first march in '87 was lesbians and gays. And then we expand that, and we keep expanding that, and we keep expanding that. And some people think that that's silly or not important. And I would say, how do you create a sense of belonging for someone if they don't feel as if they're actually included? If they don't actually feel like they actually matter? It is so important. So when you hear me say LGBTQ plus, and I know it can be a tongue twister, practice, right? Practice, just practice it. Everybody say it with me, LGBTQ plus. One more time, LGBTQ plus. It's important that that plus be there because in every moment we are, the queer movement, if you want to call it that, is evolving always. So we actually call our pride the Progress Pride flag because it's not done. And there are tons of versions out there. And I want you to just see the inclusion that is built into the flag. Red is for life. Orange is for healing. Yellow is for new ideas. Green is for prosperity. Blue is for serenity. Violet is for spirit. So even though this community was being told that they were dying because they were gay and that God hated them, the community said, that is important that we understand that there's something larger than just us, that we absolutely have access to. And then the black and brown represent people of color. The white, blue, and pink represent trans. And the yellow, purple, and circle is intersex. And some of them even have an A for people who are asexual, right? And we say yes to, can you feel how important it is to say yes to that? That it's not trivial, that it's actually significant, that who you understand yourself to be feels as if you have a place of belonging. So as perhaps an ally, what can you do? How can you support? And so I love this question that Tara Brock says. She says, the beginning of healing is recognizing suffering and asking the question, where does it hurt? Where does it hurt? Where in your life have you been told you're not enough? Where in your life have you been told you will never be enough? Where have you been told that God made a mistake when He created you? Can you feel how deep those wounds can be? And it's not just the LGBTQ plus community that experiences that. Anybody in here who's not part of that community feel this way? Right? Where does it hurt? And that means that we have to be willing to touch the 10,000 sorrows and the 10,000 joys. We can't be afraid of them. I would say it's why we're here. We're here to experience the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows and to stand with each other heart to heart, hand to hand, creating a space of belonging. Because it's all about seeking to understand. Offering your interested presence. Do you care? Are you interested? Can everyone feel how healing that would be? If someone was really interested in you and your well-being and your life and your joy and your pains as well. So I adapted this. New York Times puts out a thing where they ask readers to write in what's their best mantra for 2023. This was from 2023. And this person sent this in, and I've adapted it slightly to fit with today's lesson. But breathe in, I listen for silence. Breathe out. I am not the hero of every story. Everybody with me still? You're not the hero of every story. Breathe in. I cannot be free alone. Breathe out. All are worthy of belonging. What if we all really lived into this? Because when we don't always identify ourselves as the hero of the story, it means that I'm interested in your story. It means I'm interested in how you're the hero in your story. It's not in competition. Can you feel how it's not in competition? But we have to be willing to just be interested. And that requires courage, because what we might get back is this: tears, loss, grief, sadness. That's the whole point of being in a spiritual community. It is not to bypass the parts of our life that are challenging and hard. It's not to pretend that they never happened or that they don't exist. Anybody in here try that? Did it ever work? You can't not pay attention to where you authentically are. And so we come together in spiritual community because we get to hold each other up in that. We get to see the truth of who we actually are, which transcends those 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows. Can everybody feel that? That there is that which we are, which is larger than the joys and the sorrows. There's something else, something elemental, something deeply true that eradicates all sense of separation, all sense of difference. And creating a space of belonging is one of the ways that we get to show up in the world as that place of love and open-heartedness. So let's take this into a time of meditation. We're going to do this practice. Don't go to the meditation slide. Leave this up so that people can see it. Oh, right, I'm in charge. I forget that I'm in charge. So if you want to close your eyes, close your eyes. If you want to keep your eyes open, I always invite people to practice being still with their eyes open, because the whole point isn't to just be still when we're sitting on our cushion. The point is to be still as we're in the world. That's what Jesus did. He walked in the world as the I am. So we breathe into this space, this place that is perfect peace. That is absolute belonging. Can you feel that? All your sense of otherness, just whew, in this moment, you can let them go. Whatever you think that is, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not talented enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough. And as we rest in this place, I'm going to invite you to breathe in and silently say to yourself, I listen for the silence. And as you breathe out, say to yourself, I am not the hero of every story. And as you breathe in, I cannot be free alone. And as you breathe out, all are worthy of belonging. I listen for the silence, breathing in. I am not the hero of every story, breathing out. I cannot be free alone, breathing in. And all are worthy of belonging as you exhale. And let's just rest here together, breathing in and out, listening for the silence, knowing we're not the hero, knowing that we cannot be free alone, and knowing that all are worthy of belonging.
good it is to just be still and know that all are worthy of belonging. I am worthy of belonging. You are worthy of belonging. And that our call is to create that invitation within ourselves. Where are you hurt? I am interested in you, and I am not afraid of the joys or the sorrows. For I know the truth of who I am, and I know the truth of who you are. This magnificent, whole, perfect being of light. And it is in these connections, it is in how we come together, that the calcification that is blocking our own understanding of who we truly are rubs away, falls away. So in this moment, I just invite you to let your light shine. You are a light in the world. And just know the light that each person is here and everywhere. Even those people who were holding those signs, I want to call them into this space right now with love, with compassion. There is no other. Where are they hurt? Creating a space for true and deep and honest and authentic belonging. And so it is. Amen. So, our affirmation. I am worthy and proud. Can we know that? One more time. I am worthy and proud. Turn to each other and say, you are worthy and proud. Turn to somebody else and say, you are worthy and proud. And now we're going to do a collective. We are worthy and proud. All together. We are worthy and proud. And so it is.
the crowd. Now I'm standing on high heels, if Dad can see me now.
Ladies and gentlemen, and those of you who have yet to decide, you've all heard of the 12 steps to success. Well, we don't need 12 steps. Our program only needs 6, and it goes like this.
Pursue the truth. Learn something new. Accept yourself and you'll accept others too. Let love shine. Let pride be your guide. You change the world and you change your mind.
Thank you, choir. I actually had the privilege of being able to see that on Broadway. David Cook from American Idol was the lead. It was outstanding. Okay, moving on. Community small groups register today, July 7th through August 10th. We've got 12 of them, so you can pick and choose. Laughter yoga, poetry out loud, living in the blue zone in Marin. So come on and sign up. Join the party. Board update. Lynn. Oh, Lynn.
Whew, that's it. Hi, Unity. Okay, great. The board has been super busy since our anniversary celebrations, and we are in the present and responding to the external environment, and we got a couple of things to tell you about. So first, as many of you may have heard, a few years ago, literally, we applied for some grant funding for HMS, and we got it. It's finally here. Over $100,000, thanks to Dr. Cindy Acker and a small team of people. This money will help, you may not be visible, all of it. This money will help build our infrastructure and response to environmental threats. So it's things like reinforcing the HVAC systems and some other things like that you won't necessarily see. But there are some other issues happening around HMS community that the board is also dealing with in response to the external environment, and that is that over the years, we have had an increase in the number of trespassers and people that really don't belong on campus just showing up unannounced. And recently we had a rather serious incident where no one was harmed. It all worked out, but it really brought home to us that living in 2024, we're in a suburban campus, and we need to raise our level of security on campus. So we are looking at fencing for the immediate campus area, and that is one of the issues that the board is looking at right now to ensure that all of us are safe and secure, and that we can provide a positive, healthy environment for all of our children who are here 5 days a week. All right, all of us, we're only here maybe one or a couple of days a week, but they're here a lot. And so that is one of the issues that we're working on right now, and you may see some changes around that, and that is why the board is taking that action. Feel free to talk to any of us about any of these details after the service. The other issue that I want to make you aware of is that in the coming months, in 2025, our mortgage expires, and we hope to renew it, but it's not a guaranteed thing. So Marin Community Foundation, who holds our mortgage, has communicated with us already that they may not refund us. We are not the only organizations that are in this situation, so the board is also looking at alternatives, and we will have a plan. So just as we had a $100,000 plus grant come to us through our diligence and our attention to the outer environment, we are also tending to the outer environment now related to mortgage and other issues. And so that's what's up for the board right now. Feel free to talk to us individually. Thank you. Oh, sorry, not done. Okay, sorry, I'm not done. Heritage Corner paver update. Woohoo! Okay, so thank you to everyone that has already donated to the Heritage Paver campaign. I think we're pretty close to having at least 20 pavers, which is really awesome and incredible. We are extending the deadline for that so that everyone that wants to participate can participate. We have also heard the feedback from many people about the paver campaign, and we're looking, we may do a little pivot or adjustment to make sure that everyone can participate that wants to, but stay tuned for that in the coming weeks. So thank you.
Giving and receiving. The ushers will be coming forward shortly. So many ways to give, and we appreciate each and every one of them, for the folks here and also you folks online. You can check that out for yourself, your spiritual connection card. We talked about that before. Please put that in the basket with your donation. We love you and we appreciate you. Our affirmation, please say this with me. I am the power of abundance, giving and receiving gratefully. And will the ushers please come forward?
I just want to say something about this song that the choir is going to sing. It's new for the choir, but it's a song that was written by a Unitarian Universalist minister in support of gay marriage. And when it was written, it became something that many different denominations were invited to sing along to show their support, and became a very, very well-known song. And then people were disturbed by one word, which is the word standing. And so they were asked to adjust it, and I have adjusted his adjustment. And so we're singing United on the Side of Love.
promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide. And so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our God. We're united on the side of love. Hands joined together and hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim. We're united on the side of love. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly bound, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we've found. We're united on the side of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim. We're united on the side of love. A brand new day is dawning. And love will not divide. Reflections of grace in every embrace. Fulfilling our vision divine. We're united on the side of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim. We're united on the side of love. We're united on the side of love. Hands joined together and hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim. We're united on the side of love. We're united on the side of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim. We're united on the side of love. We're united on the side of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim. We're united on the side of love. We're united on the
What is your superpower?
Or Reverend Linda is we're going to be doing What is Your Superpower? It's a way to build community. It's here in the sanctuary at noon.
All right. Discussion circle, connect and reflect on today's service. Newcomers are welcome. We look forward to having you today at 12 noon.
Till 12.
Oh, uh-oh.
So
I
people
better
can
hop
come to
until
the workshop.
12 noon. Sorry about that. Monthly Community Connection Circle. It's online. It's going to be once a month. So please, all you folks online, please join us for that. Monthly Prosperity Co-Creators Circle with Linda Anderson. Check that out. It starts tomorrow. So please register. Upcoming guest speakers, Dr. Cindy Acker. Woo, woo, woo. And Reverend Tara Steele. And our fabulous Reverend Deanne, guess what, folks? She will be going on vacation. Let's have a round of applause for that. Okay, Unity Marin Prayer Chaplains, please stand up. How may we pray with you? Please find one of these divine angels. Everything is personal, private, and confidential. So thank you for your service. Welcome youth and family. Do we have any tea? Okay. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Down. Oh, look at her little glasses. I love it. So I'm going to invite the community to rise. We're going to extend our hands and our hearts. We are holding in this space the beautiful points of light who are here with us on the platform, the ones who are making their way down the aisle right now, and the children who are in our hearts, in our minds, the children of the world. Come on down, you guys. And we extend our hands and our hearts and we say, you are the perfect expression of divine light. We love you exactly the way you are. And so it is.
And please join me in the prayer for protection.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. And our next community song,
We Are Family.